Hey, my beautiful bitches, it's me, Fiona St. James, and welcome to another episode of Fiona's Coffee Talks. And as always, I'd like to start off every day with a fresh, hot, black cup of coffee. Hold the cream! I'd love to. Anywho, today it is my Mother's Day video. Yay! So to all the beautiful mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. So before I get into the Mother's Day story, I want to just tell a little pre-story, a fond memory that I have of me and my mother. Fortunately for me, my mother is still around, so, I'm very blessed because I know not everyone has their mother still in the picture. But my fondest memory when I was like really little was when I was in kindergarten, which I'm going back many years. So kindergarten was 1970. Back then, we only had half days of school when you were in kindergarten. So because I'm the youngest of four kids, and we were basically a year apart. When I was in kindergarten, they were already like first, second, third grade. So my fond memory of that time was that every day for that school year that I was in kindergarten, I would finish at like noon, and my siblings would finish at like 3 in the afternoon. So every day at noon, my mother would pick me up, and Monday through Friday for that year, I had my mother all to myself for 3 hours, every day from 12 to 3. It was just she and I, and it was great, It gave me my alone time with her, and remember we would even like take little naps, and it's just great. Also being the youngest, I kind of find like if you are the youngest, especially if you're a guy, and especially if you're gay, you have like a special relationship with your mom. So being the youngest of four kids and gay, and have always known that, I think that in itself kind of gives me, and I think anyone who fits that criteria, a little more of a closeness. There's a special relationship that goes with that. Now, because we were four of us and one right after the other, my oldest sister, hey Wenchie, she was like my second mother. So, because having two kids in between us two, she helped my mother out, and she was always so mature for her age. So I was sort of like, she was like my second mom, and she would help my mom out with me. And then also for the first like 18, 20 years of my life, my grandmother, my mother's mother, who, rest in peace, is no longer around, but back then she would had her citizenship established here, her residency, established in the United States. So because of that, she would spend 6 months out of every year in the States, in New York, and lived with us. So I was fortunate that I had my grandmother in my life the first 18 years, pretty much 6 months out of the year. And she and I were extremely close. So she too was like a mother figure to me. So, I'm fortunate that apart from my loving mother, I had my sister and my grandmother. So I want to show you guys a couple of pictures of me when I was little, my mom, but you're going to see a picture of my mother when she was really little with my grandmother. So take a look. That picture of my mother and my grandmother is one of my all-time favorite pictures. Anywho, so now to the Mother's Day story. So picture it was a Mother's Day 1992. Splash Bar, which no longer exists, but did back then, that year they had a contest called the Come As Your Mother Beauty Pageant. Now, I had already been doing drag for a couple of years, and my mother knew that I did. I never hid that. So 2 years before that, my brother had gotten married, and, of course, my mother wore the mother of the groom satin gown, and it was fuchsia. So because it was a Come As Your Mother beauty pageant, you had to show up with the picture of your mom, which they put on a projector screen, and then the screen would come up, and then you were supposed to be there looking like your mom. So having said that, I was like, Mama Poo, I call my mom Mama Poo. I'm like, Mama Poo, could I borrow that dress that you wore at Louie's wedding? Because I'm doing this contest. And lo and behold, my mother's so cool. She gave me the dress. And then remember, we sat in front of her mirror one day, and she showed me how she did her makeup and how she like blew her hair out. And I don't know how many moms would do that. My mom did. She's like that cool. Cool to the point that like I remember even the first apartment that I lived in, right after I graduated college, we were going to a wedding one Saturday. She had keys to my apartment, and I was working that day, so I was going to meet everyone at my house later on. And my mother calls me frantically, Jimmy, I got them running my pantyhose. Do you have a pair of pantyhose I can borrow? And I'm like, yeah, top drawer to the right. So like, that's how cool she is. My mother even gave me my first strapless bra when I first started doing drag, which to date I still have. So anyway, getting back to the contest, you know, I had this picture of my mother walking down the aisle in this dress. So when that picture first appeared, my mother's quite pretty. Like, I remember the audience was like, ooh, you know, like they had this beautiful reaction to it because she really is beautiful. And when this huge screen came up, there I was standing in the same exact gown. She had loaned me the jewelry. I had done my makeup and hair to look like her. And I was even, in the picture, she's holding a bouquet of flowers. I even had those flowers duplicated. And so, of course, when I appeared, the audience went crazy because, I mean, I look a lot like my mother. So, and plus, you know, I just thought it was really neat that she did that, you know. So I have pictures of that as well, so I want you to see that. Take a look. How cool is that? See, this is why I love my mother. You know, and to date, she's still like the coolest person I know. We're still very close. You know, in recent years for Mother's Day, what usually ends up happening is, you know, they still live in the Bronx, so I will go and see her, take her out for like lunch. Sometimes my father joins us, but sometimes he's like, I ain't going anywhere, I just want to stay home. So, which is fine with me because it gives me a moment to be with her alone again. I remember pre-pandemic, she and I used to do a lot of outings. Like we would go like to the opera, to the ballet, to, you know, things like that, go see shows. And then we would always like go eat. So she and I have always had this wonderful relationship. And, you know, like I said before, I'm fortunate that I still have her in my life. So, you know, for those of you that do, hold on to your moms for dear life. You know, obviously I always say at the beginning of each video, life is too important to be taken seriously. And then I always say, you know, it's all going to end in a minute anyway. So until that point comes, I'm going to cherish every and any moment that I can. So anywho, but I wanted to try to make this video short. It was more a way of just saying how great my mom is and how much I love her and all that good stuff. And, you know, I will see her this Sunday for Mother's Day, take her out to eat now that we can actually eat in restaurants. And so I hope you guys have a wonderful Mother's Day. If you are a mother or if you're going to be with your mother, you know, just enjoy the day, have an amazing time, all that good stuff. So if you like my little story, by all means, give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much for being here with me. And as always, I look forward to the next time. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you guys with a couple of more little pictures of like my mom and I like going out to eat and on Mother's Day and all that good stuff. All right, I love you guys so much. Bye.